Everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master. I am here with my brother, and we are here to play with Merfolk in Modern. War of the Spark has completely changed the metagame. There is a bunch of Karns all over the damn place. Finding Ensnaring Bridge from the sideboard, bringing it into play. We can't deal with that crap, so we have to adjust in order to beat it. You want to see Merfolk played by the Master? Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Before we get into our deck tech, we're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com. And for a review of all of the War of the Spark cards that are affecting Modern, you're going to want to check out Michael Shapiro's Modern Musings on themanabase.com, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And I have new patrons supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. So I would really like to thank Josephine Regine Borg Staffsingen and Patrick Henry. Thank you very much for supporting me on Patreon. So playtesting Modern recently has become very interesting. There's the stupid Karn creator of everything card it's incredibly annoying, and it actually is putting a big hurt on the Merfolk deck. It's a 4-mana Planeswalker. You can activate it to find an artifact card from your sideboard and put it into your hand. And what a lot of decks are doing, including Tron, is that they are finding Ensnaring Bridge. So now Tron has access to Ensnaring Bridge, basically the most unholy piece of shit that we ever see in Modern. It's just the dark times for Merfolk when we see when Ensnaring Bridge is really popular. And now there's a lot of decks that can adopt Karn. And it's not just Tron, it's also the Whir decks. So the Whir decks already played with an Ensnaring Bridge. But you know what? I mean, I didn't have the worst record if I wanted to beat them. I did have enough counterspells and interaction to do it. But now they've got not only Whir of Invention to find an Ensnaring Bridge, they also have Karn, which can also... So they have there's no way they can not find Ensnaring Bridge. It's going to happen, people. It's going to happen, so we have to be prepared for it. And so there's a tier of decks that are playing Karn, and then there's the tier of decks that are like creature-based decks, and you still have to beat the old stuff, and it's stretching the deck thin again. So I've looked back. How do we beat everything? I'm not sure, but I've got a lot of new stuff that I'm playing around with here. So first off, Boomerang. Boomerang is a card that I've been eyeing for a long time, but there was never a really good reason to play Boomerang over, say, Echoing Truth. And as you've seen in my videos for a very long time, I'm not a fan of Echoing Truth. I always think of it as a clunky vapor snag, basically 95% of the time. But so why Boomerang? Boomerang can bounce Blast Zone, which is now being seen in Tron. Blast Zone is a card. It's now Engineered Explosives on a land. They printed Engineered Explosives on a land. You play this land, it already has one counter on it, and you can pay XX to add a counter, or you can pay 3 mana, sacrifice it, blow everything up with converted mana cost equal to the counters on Blast Zone.
That's disgusting.
So what Boomerang can do is bounce Blast Zone before it can if they have the mana activated, you won't be able to interact. But let's say they spend mana to take it up to 2, then you can Boomerang it back to their hand, and they have to spend another turn playing it again. That tempo means a big deal. So there's Blast Zone. What other things? Well, okay, of course I want more tools in order to beat Ensnaring Bridge. And I'm hoping that this is just going to be good in general against Amulet and Tron. I'm not sure about Amulet, haven't played against it yet, but I really like the idea of they play a land, then they play a Karoo land, and then you Boomerang it back to their hand. Now that's back-breaking. If they don't have Amulet of Vigor in play, I mean, they're just going to be destroyed by Boomerang. That's a huge tempo sink. It's worse than Spreading Seizing their Karoo land. They're back to turn 1. And Blue-White Control is still out there in force. And I hate Teferi. Teferi is being played, the new Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Sorry, not Hero of Time Raveler. And basically says your counter spells suck. Your instant speed interaction is garbage. You're going to be playing Hearthstone, and they're going to be playing Magic the Gathering. So what Boomerang can do is you can bounce one of their lands on turn 3 to prevent Supreme Verdict. I mean, they can still play Terminus, but I have found Boomerang to be useful in that manner. So what are some other cool interactions that I've had with Boomerang? Well, when my opponent tries to I have had a lot of really cool interactions. For example, when my blue-white control opponent tries to use Field of Ruin on my Mutavault, I can now boomerang the Mutavault back to my hand, also countering their Field of Ruin. So they don't even. So we get to keep our Mutavault, and they don't get to look for a land. So boomerang has helped me there. On top of that, if I'm in a Vile Mirror against Death and Taxes or humans, so let's say I play turn 1 Aether Vial. My opponent plays turn 1 Aether Vial. Turn 2, I boomerang their Aether Vial back to their hand. That's not an interaction we ever had with Echoing Truth, because if we use Echoing Truth, it would return all the Aether Vials back to our hands. But this time, it's one-sided. It's just their Aether Vial. And that's enormous if we're on the play, they're on the draw. Because then if they take their turn 2, they're going to want to play a creature for one of their 2-drops on turn 2. So, but now they're torn between, do I play a 2-drop or do I play Aether Vial? And either way, whatever they do, we're super far ahead. We're going to be playing 2 creatures a turn from there, and they're just going to be playing like 1 thing a turn. So Boomerang, really effective there. And on top of that, against Tron, if they've got 2 Tron lands out, you just Boomerang 1 Tron land, and it guarantees that they don't have Tron by their next turn if you know you have some lethal attack. I've Boomeranged... So those are very specific to Boomerang that Echoing Truth never could touch. And I hope that this is going... I mean, I'm playing it because it looks like there's enough interactions now that I would want to play with Boomerang. I'm still not in love with it. I never was in love with Echoing Truth as a creature interaction spell. But whatever, it will still work. It will still bounce Thing in the Ices back to our opponent's hand if we need to. Bounce our own permanents back to our hand if we need to. It does bounce everything. You can bounce Celestial Colonnade. I've done that before.
Very versatile.
Very versatile. Bouncing lands actually helps. It does help. And of course, there are some situations, especially when I have like turn 1 Aether Vial on the play, I boomerang someone's land, and they're just so far behind. It's really hard for them to come back, even against a Jund deck. They play turn 1 Raging Ravine. You boomerang it back to their hand with an Aether Vial in play. You're going to be playing 2 spells a turn, and they can't play 2 removal spells a turn. And if they play like a Tarmogoyf for Dark Confidant one turn, then you're just going to swarm the board with creatures that they can't deal with. So, Boomerang. I hope we see even some more cool stuff out of Boomerang in the... But the main reason is I need to put something in play to deal with Ensnaring Bridge, because a lot of decks can just pull it out of thin air, and this is just how it's going to be done. I'm playing 22 lands. I really want to curve out. I'm really tired of like mulliganing to like even a 6-card hand, keeping a 1-lander with Vial, and then I'm always taking a turn off against any deck. Right now there are enough decks that are so fast, I really want to curve out into just curve out properly. And I was thinking, Humans plays 19 lands, 4 Vial, 4 Noble Hierarch. That's like 27 mana sources. So why don't we play something similar? Okay, so let's go up to like 26 mana sources, 22 lands, 4 Aether Vial, and we're not going to make the lands a waste of time. We can use Fairy Conclave. Hey, this creature still deals damage. It's still impactful. And now that we play with 4 Fairy Conclave and 4 Mutavault, we actually overload, what's it called? Pretty well. We overload Field of Ruin pretty well. So they can't Field of Ruin everything. Another addition, Thassa, God of the Sea. And I actually played quite a bit with Thassa. Merfolk Joe brought up Thassa, saying, hey, you were looking for like a new Planeswalker. Why don't we just play with Thassa, God of the Sea? That's basically a Planeswalker. There's actually a lot of truth to that. But I don't... Thassa traditionally wasn't very good in Merfolk just because Rajiri was more important and Master of Waves was more important. So on the 3 CMC or higher... Thassa didn't really have a good spot. And on top of that, I don't even know if Thassa is that amazing because Modern is still pretty damn fast. Thassa is a card that gets you value in turns 7+, but if the game doesn't go that far, then Thassa is sort of pointless. On the other hand, I think against a lot of the Ensnaring Bridge decks, we are going to be given some time. So let's try Thassa out against those decks, help us find our Boomerangs and our Cryptic Commands in order to beat Ensnaring Bridge. But the reason, I was playing with Thassa, and the fact of the matter is Thassa actually wasn't doing very well for me in the long games, or in games that you would think would go somewhat long, like against Death Shadow. if you play Thassa and they've got like a Gurmag Angler or any threat in play, Thassa didn't really help me because Thassa didn't help block or attack, and it actually helped my opponent's removal, because if I just play a creature, activate Thassa, they just need to use one removal spell, kill that creature, and they basically disable Thassa at the same time. And I still have to deal with this Death Shadow and so on. So Thassa, probably still fine in the Death Shadow matchup, but that's not actually where I found the value of Thassa. The best thing about Thassa is when she is active. 3 mana for a 5/5 creature? That's big. That's powerful. That actually was when Thassa was best. When she just put a really good clock on the board for 3 mana. That's what I really liked about Thassa. And the fact that she can make creatures unblockable despite having Island Walk or not, that was really good. So I was not super impressed with games that went long with Thassa. Still helped, but was really impressed when she was attacking. She was really strong. And I dropped Thassa, went to Mara Regiri, and you know what? After all the games, I'm like, do you know what? Regiri is just a little clunky, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy with Regiri. If Regiri and a bunch of creatures are in play, Thassa is also going to still be pretty big and powerful. Let's play with Thassa instead. The format is somewhat fast, especially at the competitive leagues, because of all these stupid ensnaring bridge decks and dredges and stuff like that. Anyway, I think Master of Waves is still where we want to be. I tried to play without him, but fact of the matter is he still stabilizes the boards super, super well.
It's your logo.
It's your logo. So the bunny is based on Master of Waves. If you didn't know, so I'm going back to Master of Waves. This is where I think I want to be anyway. Like just the card that stabilizes a lot of boards and gives you a chance of winning from like nowhere. So we're going back to Master of Waves and some Dismembers, because I just felt like I first tuned my deck to beat all the ensnaring bridge decks, but then I was really struggling against like rock decks or just normal creature based decks. So I just have Dismember in the deck to help me against all those matchups. Like I used to play with 4 Boomerang in the main deck, but it's still like, it's just a bit clunky as like a removal spell. So we're going a little bit mana efficient. Got to kill those Dark Confidants. There's still Rock and Jund out there, so you got to beat them. Ceremonious Rejection is a card that's really mana efficient. I think you really want to be mana efficient. Like we're not playing as many Deprives because I want to go the direction of mana efficiency against Tron. Get a clock out there, hold up just 1 mana to be able to counter important Tron cards, counter ensnaring bridge against the Whir decks, be mana efficient against Affinity. Although I would prefer Hurkyl's Recall against Affinity. I would really like Hurkyl's Recall in this deck somewhere, but I'm not sure what to take out or move. I guess could get rid of Boomerang, but then you're weak to Blast Zone and stuff like that. So maybe Boomerang, maybe I can live without Boomerang and it should be Hurkyl's Recall. But then I feel like I have too many artifact, colorless removal spells. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens in the future. But Ceremonious Rejection, good against Tron. Affinity, Hardened Scales Affinity, good against Amulet because you counter Walking Ballista, Amulet of Vigor, and Engineered Explosives. Ceremonious Rejection is going to be very good there. So you don't really care about Titan. You care about what Titan finds with Teleria West. That's the danger of Amulet Titan. So Ceremonious Rejection, very good there. Not in love with Deprive. So I'm really not loving the reactive Merfolk. I really want to be tapping out and being proactive. Like if our opponent resolves Teferi, Time Raveler, all these cards are garbage. They're useless. So I sort of want to weaken my dependence on these sort of cards. And Deprive I'm finding is very, very clunky. But I'm still going to have some for Titan Shift, which is still pretty big in the Grand Prix scene. You always see a Titan Shift deck make top 8, so you have to be prepared for it. So I don't have as many counters as I would like against Titan Shift, but I hope we have enough, including Boomerang. Maybe Boomerang. I don't know if Boomerang will be good in that matchup, but bouncing a land might be a relevant interaction at the right moment, at the right time. But we're also still going to be playing with Cryptic Command. Originally it was Venser, but then I was like, well, Cryptic Command is just better, so let's just play with Cryptic Command. For Grafdigger's Cage, just for the Dredge matchup, maybe 2 of them should be Relic of Progenitus.
No.
But this is like a Glass Cannon.
Yes.
Powerful card against Dredge. Hopefully that works. And of course it's good against Counter's Company. Phyrexian Revoker.
The wild card.
Helped me a lot, actually. So especially, it's really strong with Aether Vial. It's really strong because you can just hold up on 2 mana, just wait for your opponent to play the Karn. So let's say we just wait for the right card. So if they play Oblivion Stone on the stack, Violent Phyrexian Revoker, name Oblivion Stone. They play Walking Ballista, Violent Phyrexian Revoker, name Walking Ballista. They play Engineered Explosives or Ugin or Karn or any of these cards you play Phyrexian Revoker. Also great against the control decks. They play Teferi, Time Reveler, Phyrexian Revoker, Jace, Phyrexian Revoker, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, Phyrexian Revoker, and you just screw up all their plans. So Phyrexian Revoker's helped a lot. I even had a really awesome match against Hardened Scales Affinity where they just couldn't combo off, and unfortunately I still couldn't win. I had 3 Phyrexian Revokers in play, one naming Walking Ballista, one naming Hangerback Walker, one naming Arcbound Ravager. My opponent just did nothing for a million turns, but I eventually died to like Inkmoth Nexuses because they did have there was a token generator in play that I can't remember what it was called, but they were making a token every turn. I couldn't afford to attack for the win because they would attack me back for the win. So Phyrexian Revoker is... It could be replaced by something, but it's just another way of being proactive against a lot of decks. I don't want to be too reactive. I don't want to be holding up mana because like it's just too hard to hold up mana against everything, and I don't even know if it's the best thing to do anymore. I just want to be proactive. I want to put creatures on the board and then deal with everything later with boomerangs and stuff like that. So anyway, this is the list. Hopefully we do well, but it's hard to tell. War of the Spark has turned Modern really hostile. All the cards have changed everything. I thought Modern Horizons would shake up Modern, but no, it's already been completely shaken up by War of the Spark. So let's go play this Merfolk build in a competitive league. We won the die roll, hallelujah. We're going to keep this. Chancellor of the Tangle has entered. What the hell does this mean? You may reveal this card from your opening hand. If you do, at the beginning of your first main phase, add a green mana, Vigilance and Reach. It sounds like we're up against that new Neoform Combo deck.
Blue should have something like that. Turn 0 mana. Come on.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Like the Neoform combo is like so powerful. I used to play with 4 Mist Caller, but well, not anymore.
Yeah,
okay, let's see if we die on turn 1. We literally can die on turn 1. You better be printing Force of Will in Modern Wizards.
It's coming. When are those cards released? July?
Yes. No, June. It's coming out in June. It's actually coming out really soon. Modern Horizons is coming out really soon. Allosaurus Rex.
Rider.
Yeah, we lose. We lose on turn 1. That's Modern, folks! This is literally Modern now.
Enjoy.
So we literally have to like mulligan. We need to mulligan for what's it called? Basically, Grafdigger's Cage. Grafdigger's Cage or bust. I originally had Mistcaller in the deck. I don't know if I don't see this deck in the friendly leagues, but in the competitive leagues I do.
Assuming they don't have it turn 1, there's boned.
No, they can do it on turn 2 too.
Oh god.
It's actually a pretty reliable combo deck.
Thank you, Wizards.
Thank you, Wizards, yes.
Thank you so much. I mean, hey, when you got over 10,000 cards, it's hard to play test and know how everything interacts.
So
unless you did it on purpose.
I actually think if your metagame has this, I think Merfolk should have a very good matchup because you can just play. Well, I mean, if you're on the draw, you don't even get to take a turn. That's a problem. But if you play with enough Mistcallers and Grafdigger's Cages, it just completely screws this deck over. So you get to see the madness as is. What are you playing Serum Visions for? You don't have enough cards? I wonder, can we win this? Because if they can't combo off right now, then we can Trickster this stupid thing. Oh, but they're playing Pact of Negation.
Well, they went to clean up.
Yeah. Wow! They can't win. But they probably have Pact of Negation in hand.
I guess you can't dismember a Grishelbrand.
Oh, I can too.
Grishel.
But I need 2 of them. That would be something if I draw a second Dismember. Noxious Revival. We're just gonna mulligan down to the perfect whatever. Maybe, well, I consider putting cap. Oh my god, I do have the second.
Ho!
So what do? We try to kill this thing?
Do it! Just get it off the board. He'll be so mad.
He will. So if they have Pact of Negation now, I wonder can they win if we take the Grizzlebrand out of the deck? Alright. Let's try. This will be hilarious. Because if they play Pact of Negation, they lose. Oh, but they can just Noxious Revival it back. But it's in their hand. They want it in their deck. They don't want Grizzlebrand in their hand. And that's the manabase.com. Get dunked on instant replay.
We'll see what happens.
Because if I play Merfolk Trickster, they just Pact him Negation and I would assume win. That's the problem. But if they Pact him Negation any of these dismembers, they lose. Okay, can you win from here? Oh no, yeah, you Noxus Revival Grizzlebrand on your deck. It goes back into the deck, not in your hand. So I guess they can win from here. If they have the right number of cards. Well, they're thinking about it.
Are we gonna see the biggest upset in Magic history?
That's why I got 2 Dismembers in the main deck. For that time, those moments where your opponent goes turn 1 Grizzlebrand and somehow can't win the game. Well, if they're thinking, they probably have something to do. They're cycling. Okay, that's good news.
He's probably just sitting there like, what? What happened?
What is happening here? Is this the graveyard? This is the graveyard. So what's this? Revealed cards? Okay. Is that it? Okay, that could still be a problem. Thassa.
Can you trickster that thing on his turn? Would that matter?
No, it won't. I need to dismember it. That would be better. Trying to think, like, how is there any combination of cards I could use to just try to win the game next turn? They've got another Neoform or Eldritch Evolution. That doesn't help if I play Thassa. I can never kill them.
If you play Thassa now, get another island next turn, play 2 blue cards.
Do you know what would they even do with Grizzlebrand? They're at 6 life now.
And that thing will take 7 life.
So we do actually have some time to win the game, even if they put Grizzlebrand back on top of their library. If they use... Okay, I guess I'll play Thassa and look for a land. And then play... We'll play... Then the next case, we don't have a turn... We can never win by the next turn. So let's try to win the next 2 turns. So next turn we can play probably Merfolk Trickster, tap something down. Oh, are they on the attack plan? Oh, they're on the attack plan. That's not going to work out in the long run, people. This feels like a legacy game where your opponent has this bizarre start and your opponent has a bizarre answer. Another one. Okay, that's a problem. They are on the beatdown plan. I don't want this.
Didn't want that either.
Take 3. Okay, so this is winning.
You're just going to trickster 1?
Yeah, I'm going to Trickster 1 at upkeep.
You should always just have the stop at. You should have a stop at every though. Why not? Also, Fairy Conclave is a creature.
Yeah, it is. But I'm probably going to be tapping it. So we've got, like, Merfolk Trickster and Thassa to attack next turn. Ooh, turns into a 1-1. I actually probably... Oh, number of the lands you control? Okay, so a better line was maybe just let them attack? Okay, whatever.
Go for it.
Yeah, do it. Do your worst.
Island, please!
They did play a land. Are they going to play Eldritch Evolution now? Metamorphose? That's a card.
Can't do it 2 red.
Draw cards. Am I going to 1? No. Okay. Hooray! We got to untap. And we're going to win. Put on bottom. Unless my opponent plays Pact of Negation right then. No, Pact of Negation still kills them.
Wow.
Sweet! We did it. All right, well,
Those two dismembers did it.
Dude.
that top deck dismember.
Okay, what's good here? Grafdigger's Cage is definitely good
probably,
here.
Oh, that is the strangest game of Magic I've ever played.
Well, yeah, well, that makes two of us. We probably want Phyrexian Revoker. We can name...
everything.
We can name Lightning Storm and Grizzlebrand. Unfortunately, it's going to be weak to Artifact Hate, and they are definitely going to be bringing in Artifact Hate. Is Boomerang good? Probably. These counterspells suck. They're really bad. Okay, Dismember is also really bad.
Even though it was the Hail Mary play.
Seas is bad.
Hail Mary play of the century.
Take out Master of Waves. Master of Waves also. We're probably dead if we're playing Master of Waves. So we need to bring in a bunch of other cards. So I guess we bring in the counter spells and the cryptics if we somehow make it that far. Which is possible. If we have Grafdigger's Cage and the game goes long enough, then that might happen. Don't know if Boomerang will be good. Is there anything else that's bad? Look at Phyrexian Revoker. It's actually doing something a lot against a lot of decks. So if we get this Vial on 2 and they like put in a Grizzlebrand, we can just activate, nail Grizzlebrand. Screw you. You don't get to draw anything. Although I have to say it's going to be really hard to beat a Grizzlebrand. Maybe that's why we want more Boomerangs. Whatever. Is there any colorless cards? I don't think so. It's Neoform Combo deck. Alright, well, we got our turn 1 win condition.
So he don't.
Yeah. Like, they can't beat a Grafdigger's Cage. It's impossible. Unless they have artifact removal, which certainly they're going to be siding in. Chancellor of Tangle. Okay.
Same thing.
Yeah. So do we get to untap is the question. So a lot of people thought that this deck was enabled through the London Mulligan, but it ended up not being true. It was enabled by just the new this Neoform card. They now have Eldritch Evolution and Neoform to help win the game. So here's another turn 1, probably turn 1 win.
No! It's not happening.
Missed the turn 1 due to inexperience. Well, that's too bad.
Shut up. Just shut your mouth.
Oh, Nourishing Shoal. Yeah. So that's usually how they keep the life going. So we're just going to lose without even doing anything. I'm going to submit this game to Wizards of the Coast. Should ban this. This is not supposed to happen in Modern. In my opinion, this is emergency ban territory. What's even the point? Now I understand why, like, the metagame in Modern competitive leagues are so screwed up and skewed. And the metagame in the friendly leagues are like, I don't know, the old Modern. They're like two completely different metagames. Yeah, I forgot to say in the deck tech, you need this card. Yeah, I'm not playing with Relic of Progenitus because of this deck. You play this on turn... I've had, like... I think you've seen it on camera. We played on turn 1, they just snap conceded, right?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, too.
A lot of games where you T1 Grafdigger's Cage, they resign.
Yeah, they just don't like it.
Wizards is just going to say, yeah, just play with Grafdigger's Cage. You got it. It's there. Just play it.
Yeah, well, it's hard if you don't get that. You don't get a turn.
We gave you the tools. No, excuse me, I gotta thumb through these stacks of $100 bills here.
Yeah. We're gonna start printing Grizzlebrands. I wonder if Grizzlebrand went up, because I've got tons of those GP promos. They're just rotting on my desk, because I hate when they make these stupid, janky cards. Like, Grizzlebrand sees play, and it is a 4 of index, but, like... Not in enough decks that people are just reaching for Grizzlebrands. But anyway, there's like a million GP promos.
Maybe they're...
Laboratory Maniac, what happened?
Maybe that's why they created this whole combo. To inflate the price of Grizzlebrand. They knew.
I don't get it. Is it my opponent, they just don't know how to win from here? I mean, they're basically winning. I'm not going to play Grafdigger's Cage because I don't want them to know that I have it. And certainly I can't win from here. Oh, isn't that cute? You get a +1/+1 counter on your Grizzlebrand.
He needs it.
Yeah.
He's desperate. Hard times for Grizzlebrand.
It was for a long time. Now it's a Grizzlebrand's time to shine. No one ever cast this damn thing. They should have just made it black, 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 black. That should have been the entire casting cost of Grizzlebrand.
Nobody ever plays.
Ooh, Defense Grid. See,
Nope.
that's another reason why counter spells suck. That's being played in the Word decks as well.
Nobody's ever legitimately cast Emrakul either.
Yeah, but they knew that was.
BS.
That's what they. Yeah, they knew they were doing that. When they put 50, I mean, they could have put 100 mana.
They should.
Yeah. Okay.
Just make a silly promo card.
This is. Anyway, this is stupid. This is not how Matt. This is like vintage. This is basically what it is. It's vintage. So on the play is Boomerang playable? We bounce Grizzlebrand. That's a big deal.
I don't know if it was in the States or Australia, but some guy threw a boomerang. It came back, hit him in the head, and then he sued himself and won. Look it up.
Whatever, we'll submit this. I will mulligan maybe to 5 looking for Grafdigger's Cage. It's just that important. Or the hand has to be amazing. Like turn 1 Vial with a few creatures and like a bunch of deprives or something. That's not a bunch of deprives.
But it is a deprive.
And I have a clock. Okay, we'll keep it. It's pretty close. I just have to make sure our opponent does not win on turn 1.
Mulligan. Mulligan to 2.
Did they mulligan?
No. Well,
It helps when they mulligan. The
Yeah.
mulligans hurt.
they haven't
The
done
mulligans hurt. Hurts them a lot.
it. Nope, he kept.
And they don't have any jank crap at the beginning of the game. Alright, let's go. Hopefully you don't have artifact removal for this.
That'd be a nice way for him to spend his turn 1. Okay. Right.
Alright, are we going to play a fair game of Magic here?
That extra mana, that's just on the opening hand, turn 0.
Yes. Or their turn 1, basically.
Played it. Be a fool not to.
You are correct.
He's tapped out, no counterspell, no stubborn denial, no nothing.
Yeah, we might as well play it. It's not mana efficient, but like, who cares?
What is?
It's true.
What now? Let's see.
Well, they might have artifact destruction for this. Okay, costs 3 more. So our deprive is now toast.
Each player.
So okay, so now we have to just put the fastest clock as possible on the board and try to win like that.
Does defense grid also, because it says each player, not opponent, does that hurt him too?
Well, I mean it affects them, but hurt is a strong word. Can this kill our opponent by next turn? I'm sure. Well, okay, so the deprive is useless. So now we are in full-blown...
Just gotta hope that Grafdigger's Cage.
I should have calculated this a little bit better. What if I activated the Benthic Biomancer instead of put a Lord on the battlefield? It's probably not worth enough.
You'll be fine.
So we need them to not kill Grafdigger's Cage. They killed the Grafdigger's Cage. Now we need them to not win.
Still, but he did it on his turn, so he's topped out.
That doesn't matter. Does not matter at all in this game. Oh, they're gaining a bunch of life. Well, okay, we're a Merfolk deck, so we can deal with that. And on top of that, if we rip lands, we'll turn Deprive back on. Like, we can still have a 2-turn clock pending the situation. Yeah, I'm curious. What can we Do I want to do... Okay, so how much power we have? This is 413. What if it's 14? And what if we draw a Merfolk? Okay, let's activate. We might get rid of the Deprive. No, we're not going to get rid of the Deprive. Okay, so it was worth activating. And then if we find one more land, Deprive is online again. We're in reasonably good shape. They only have 3 cards in hand. That's almost nothing. And if we draw one more, and if we draw a Lord next turn, we win. Alright, we get another turn. Don't underestimate Merfolk.
Damn right.
In 2019. That was not the land we wanted.
It is a land.
Cost 3 more. Yeah, it's too much. Because if it was an untapped land, we would win. I'm pretty sure we would win, because we could play Deprive and deprive anything they do. Okay. Good luck. Well, now if they're in a really hard spot, because their Grizzlebrand doesn't mean shit now, and they have an island for Island Walk. It's like, what are you even going to do?
2, 1.
Like, Grizzlebrand is really important to their combo.
He's probably typing something.
They're probably typing something. I'm sorry. If this is the first time you lost to Merfolk, well, I'm sorry. I've done it to a lot of people. I'm the guy where you lose to... I'm the person that you're going to lose to for the first time with your super busted deck.
That's right. Yeah, he's typing something.
No, something's going to tell him. My brother knows. It's in your instinct.
Because I would.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like, what can they do with this mana? And that few number of cards. Yeah, we win the match. Okay. Another thing, if you could not win the game, just make sure you get their life total to 7 or less to make sure Grizzlebrand is not as effective. Then they need cards for the combo and they need cards for Nourishing Shoal, and that's just too many cards. So that's why we're playing Grafdigger's Cage. And I know they're going to be bringing in all these cards, but it makes their combo a lot less reliable if they have to use cards to also deal with our Glass Cannon cards. And also, if this is a big deck in your metagame, play with Mist Callers, like 2 to 4 Mist Callers plus 4 Grafdigger's Cage, and they're done for. They're never going to beat that. So, yeah, that's our match for today. We're going to thank all my patrons supporting me on Patreon. We're also going to thank themanabase.com for being our sponsor. This has been Nikachu with his brother, destroying these turn 1 decks with Merfolk in Modern.